Hello friends, in this video we will discuss dynamic programming approach to solve any problem. So prerequisite of this video is recursion. So if you haven't seen my recursion video, please go and watch that first. So there we discuss the three steps to solve any problem using dynamic programming. The first step is design the recursive solution of the problem. So first you need to design recursive solution of the given problem. Second step is identify the common subproblem. You need to identify the common subproblem in your recursive solution. And third step is convert the recursive solution into the DP solution. So this is the third and last step. You need to convert whatever recursive solution you build using the common subproblem. You need to convert your recursive solution into dynamic programming solution. So now we will take an example and we will do all these three steps to understand the dynamic programming. So I am taking an example here, compute Fibonacci number n. So the Fibonacci number n comes from the Fibonacci series. The Fibonacci series is basically a series in which any element is the sum of the previous two elements. So let us consider the zeroth element of Fibonacci series is 1 and first element is also 1. The second element is the sum of the previous two, which is nothing but the sum of zeroth and first element, which is 2. Third element is 2 plus 1. Fourth element is 3 plus 2, 5. Fifth element is 5 plus 3, 8. Sixth element is 8 plus 5, 13. Seventh element is 13 plus 8, 21. And so on. So basically I can write Fibonacci of n is equal to Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. And Fibonacci of 0 is equal to 1 and Fibonacci of 1 is also equal to. So these two are basically our base conditions. Okay, so let me write the recursive function for this. Int Fibonacci of int n if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, return 1. Otherwise, return Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So this is the recursive solution of Fibonacci number, recursive solution. So this is the step 1. We have designed the recursive solution for our problem. Now in the step 2, we need to find the common subproblem in our recursive solution. But in order to find the common subproblem in a recursive solution, we need to analyze our recursions. So let's do the analysis of recursion. So here I have taken the example of Fibonacci 5. Here Fibonacci 5 will call Fibonacci of 4 and Fibonacci of 3. Fibonacci of 4 will call here Fibonacci 3, Fibonacci 2. Again Fibonacci 3 here will call Fibonacci 2, Fibonacci 1 and Fibonacci 2 will call Fibonacci 1 and Fibonacci 0. Fibonacci 1 and 0 will not call further because this is our base condition. And Fibonacci 1 value is 1, Fibonacci 0 value is 1 and 1 plus 1 is 2, which means Fibonacci 2 is 2. Now Fibonacci 1 is also 1 and 2 plus 1 is 3, Fibonacci 3 is 3. Here also 1 and 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 and 3 plus 2 here is 5. This is also 1, this is also 1 and 1 plus 1 here is 2. This is also 1, 2 plus 1 is 3 and 5 plus 3 here. So the value of Fibonacci 5 is 8. There are certain key observations here. The first key observation is we are calling Fibonacci 3 twice, where first position is here and second position is here. And we are also calling Fibonacci 2 3 times. 1, sorry, not here. 1, 2 and 3. So general observation is we are computing same value again and again. Same value again and again. And we should not do that. We should compute every distinct value only once. But next question comes, how many distinct values we have in this tree? To compute Fibonacci 5, distinct value we have is Fibonacci 4, Fibonacci 3, Fibonacci 2, Fibonacci 1, and Fibonacci 0. So we need these 5 distinct Fibonacci numbers to compute Fibonacci 5. We need Fibonacci 3 2 times. We need Fibonacci 2 3 times. But these only 5 distinct Fibonacci numbers we need in order to compute the Fibonacci 5. So the idea here is we will only compute these 5 distinct values and store it. And anytime we need it again, we will reuse it. We will not compute the value again and again. So let us take an example with this again, how we will do that. So here I'm taking an array of size 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm initializing this array with -1, which says that no value is computed till now. The function is called for Fibonacci of 5. Fibonacci of 5 will call Fibonacci of 4 and Fibonacci of 3. Fibonacci of 4 will call Fibonacci of 3, Fibonacci of 2. Fibonacci of 3 will call Fibonacci of 2, Fibonacci of 1. This Fibonacci of 2 will again call Fibonacci of 1 and Fibonacci of 0. This value is 1. So this becomes 1, this becomes 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Fibonacci 2 will become 2. We are storing it. As soon as we are computing anything, we are storing it. This is 1, already computed. 2 plus 1 is 3. So again we stored this value 3. Fibonacci 2. Now we will not compute it again. Fibonacci 2 is already 2. We will reuse it. So here reuse. 3 plus 2 is 5. Now we will again here store 5. Now Fibonacci 3. Fibonacci 3 is already computed, whose value is 3. So again we are reuse. And 5 plus 3 is 8. We will again store it here, which is our final answer for the Fibonacci 5. So you can see here we computed Fibonacci 2 only once, which is here basically. We also computed Fibonacci 3 only once here. And anytime Fibonacci 3 is required again, we reuse the already computed value. So this is the major idea behind dynamic programming. We should find the common subproblem, and whatever distinct common subproblems are there, we should compute those distinct problems only once and store it. And anytime it is required again, just reuse it. So this is our second step, finding the common subproblem. We had find that the distinct common subproblems are n. So for Fibonacci n, distinct Fibonacci required is n, which means we need an array of size n to store those values. So let us now convert our recursive solution into the dynamic programming solution. So this is the recursive solution. Now I'm converting into the TP solution. So int, I am giving the name fibdp in n dot if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, I will say dp of n is equal to 1 and return dp of n, which means whenever base condition is coming, store that value and return it. So here I'm doing, this is a store. Next is if dp of n minus 1 is equal to minus 1, which means the value is not already computed. compute it. dp of n minus 1 is equal to fib of n minus 1, fib dp of n minus 1. If dp of n minus 2 is equal to minus 1, this is also not computed, then compute it. dp of n minus 2 is equal to fib dp of n minus 2. If statement will not get executed if the value is already computed, which means the value is not equal to minus 1. Now compute the dp of n by dp of n minus 1 plus dp of n minus 2 and return this answer dp of n. So see how easy I converted my recursive solution into the dp solution using compute, store and reuse. It required just few changes in your recursive solution to convert into the dynamic programming solution. So let me conclude it. So I told you 3 steps to do any dynamic programming problem. First is design a recursive solution for your problem. Second, find the common subproblems by analyzing the recursion, and the third step is convert your recursive solution to the DP solution. So anytime you get any new dynamic programming problem, please try to follow this approach. It helps you a lot. Thank you.